Hello again, fellow podcaster, and welcome back to Pod Theory. I'm your host, Jason Cercone, and today I'm going to share how niching down your content will help your podcast grow. Have you ever come across a brand that does so much you have no idea what they actually do? This was actually me for quite a while, before I realized that tightening my focus would not only keep me sane, it would allow me to help people solve a specific problem. Let me explain further. For a long time, I advertised many services through my company that I could offer to brands. This seemed like the right thing to do. I had experience in all of these areas and felt I could provide assistance to others who needed help with each initiative. The more I was offering, the more people I could attract to my business, right? Wrong. What I didn't realize was that my list of offerings was so abundant, people who discovered me weren't quite sure what I specialized in. In my head, being a jack of all trades would create more opportunity. But in reality, it actually cost me opportunity because no one knew where I was aiming. It was when I started to put tighter focus on what I offer and what I can do to help a brand grow that positive things started to happen. I started thinking like a consumer, and I even drilled down deeper than that and started thinking like a human being. As humans, we constantly encounter problems that we need to solve. And what do we do when we need to solve a problem? We consult Google or YouTube or social media, and we discover a solution to the problem at hand. When we perform this activity, we aren't looking for 10 solutions, we're looking for one. So the logic hit me like a ton of bricks. Focus on solving one problem and pour 100% of my effort into that. This is exactly what I do with Pod Theory, with my website, and with the clients I work with every day. I provide solutions and guidance that leads to a better podcast. And this is exactly what you can do by niching down your podcast content as well. With any content strategy, it's important to keep a tight focus on the message you're delivering. If you're all over the place, people won't know what point you're trying to make. But if you have laser focus on one objective, not only will you stand out to those in need of help with said objective, you'll make yourself easier to find. Podcasting is all about making that strong connection that bonds you to your audience members. And if we take it back to that revelation I mentioned before, chances are huge that listeners of your podcast found you because they went to Google or YouTube searching for a solution. Or they asked for help on Facebook or Twitter and someone in their circle recommended your show. When this happens and they download your show and listen, they have an expectation. And that expectation is that you're going to solve their problem. And that's what your podcast is designed to do, or should be designed to do. You solve their problem and do so in a way that's so engaging, they subscribe, they look forward to future episodes, and they go back in your archives and catch up on past releases. Accomplishing this engaging connection is much more difficult if your message isn't clear, or you're trying to hit too many targets, or even worse, you don't provide the solution your listener needs. And you and I have both encountered this type of thing before. A grabby headline tells us this is the answer to all of our problems. Then we click on that headline and we're fed nothing but salesy bullshit that doesn't solve a problem. It just makes the person behind it a quick buck. This is a terrible look, and if you're like me, you never pay attention to that person again. Podcasts are designed to be value drivers, and the more emphasis you put on niching down and delivering content that offers solution to specific issues, the more value listeners will find in that content. Being exceptional at one thing will help you get bigger, better results, and help you keep your sanity much more than trying to be just okay at several things. And that's going to wrap up today's episode of Pod Theory. I'd like to take this opportunity to invite you to the new Facebook group that I'm launching, the Podcaster Syndicate. Jump over to Facebook, search for the Podcaster Syndicate, and join us today. Good talk. I'll see you back here tomorrow. This has been Jason Cercone on Pod Theory.